So welcome to the second tutorial of magnetic circuit. So the first problem that we have is basically you have been given the magnetic structure of a synchronous machine, the stator and rotor iron. So both stator and rotor are made up of some core material whose permeability is infinite. So you can see this is your stator, which is stationary, and this is your rotor, which is rotating, and both are made up of some core material iron whose permeability is infinite. If you have permeability infinite, it means the reluctance is zero, and ideally no current is required to establish the flux. So this is the meaning of infinite permeability. So you have to determine what is the air gap flux and what is the flux density. So basically here the flux will be established in the core. So you have to just find out what is the air gap flux and what is the flux density. So the flux will be passing from here because this is the air gap, and this is the air gap between the stator and the rotor. So what is the air gap flux and what is the flux density? Given condition is the excitation current is 10 ampere. So this coil will be carrying a current of 10 ampere and number of turns is 1000. Given the space of the air is 1 centimeter and the area of the air gap is 2000 centimeters square. So these are the conditions given to you, and you have to find what is the air gap flux and flux density. So let us see the solution. So first thing that you have to note that there are two air gaps. So you'll find the air gap here and also the air gap here. So basically between the stator and the rotor there are two air gap, and that two are in series. So basically it means that the total length of the air gap is 2g, considering that g is the air gap length of one side. Okay, and that by symmetry the flux density will be equal. Okay, so whatever the flux density will be here, the same flux density will be here. So if g is the air gap length of this, so another g will be adding up from this side. So the total length of the air gap will be 2g. Now the iron is having infinite permeability, reluctance is negligible, and G will be replaced by the total gap length 2G can be used to form the flux. So in this case there is no role of iron because there will be no reluctance in the iron gap. Then in that case the first thing that you have to determine is what is the flux. So you can determine the value of the flux from MMF by reluctance formula that we have seen in the first tutorial also, and the reluctance value is L by mu into A, that is the area of the cross section, and here mu will be used appropriately whether it is a core material or iron, using the formula mu is equal to mu naught into mu r. So in this case we are dealing with the air, so mu r will be 1 and we will be using only mu naught. So the MMF formula is basically the number of turns into the current, excitation current. So Ni is basically the MMF, and this term is coming from the reluctance. So the total length is basically 2g and mu naught into area of the gap. So if you put the data whatever is given in the question, so mu naught is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7, and the number of turns and other data are given to you. If you put it, then you will get a flux of 0.13 Weber. Now flux density can be easily calculated as flux per unit area. So flux you have already calculated as 0.13. So 0.13 divided by the area of the air gap. So if you see the area of the air gap is given in centimeter square, convert that into meter square, then you will get 0.65 Tesla. So in this problem you have to find the flux and the flux density. So let us move to the problem number 2. So in problem 2 you have a magnetic circuit which is given here. it is consisting of n turn winding. So here the winding is having n number of turns, and the magnetic core is of infinite permeability. So you can see the core is of infinite permeability. I have already explained to you that what is the meaning of infinite permeability. And two parallel air gaps are there. So you can see there are two air gap. One is gap number 1 and other is gap number 2 of length g1 and g2, and their cross sectional area is basically a1 and a2. And so you have to determine the inductance of the winding. So this winding which is carrying n number of turns, what is the inductance, self inductance of the winding? And second, what is the flux density B1 in gap 1? So this is your gap 1. So what is the flux density B1 in the air gap when the winding is carrying a current I? So winding is carrying a current I. So neglect the fringing effect at the air gap. So everywhere you will see that we will neglect the fringing effect and the leakage flux. So you have to basically calculate the inductance and flux density B1. If you observe the question, there are no data given to you in the question. So basically this is an analytical question where you have to find the inductance formula and the flux density formula without knowing the data. Okay, so we don't require any data here. So let us see the solution. So since you have two air gap number 1 and gap number 2 of some length G1 and G2, so basically you can draw the equivalent circuit, electrical equivalent circuit of the magnetic circuit. So this is your magnetic circuit and this is your electrical circuit. You have to draw, and since the core is having of infinite permeability, there is no role of the core because the reluctance of the core will be 0. So we do not want to add the core. So in this case there are two parallel air gap which will be represented with the reluctances R1 and R2 in parallel, and the total MMF Ni will produce a flux phi which will be divided into two flux phi 1 and phi 2. So basically Kirchhoff's flux law will be here. So that is being divided into two parts, phi 1 and phi 2, and there is no role of the core. So we are not taking the core into account because the flux permeability is infinite. So the total reluctance is equal to the parallel combination of the two gap reluctances. So if you see these two reluctance, they are in parallel. So you can easily calculate the equivalent reluctance when two reluctances are in parallel. Then it will be equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So you know the parallel resistance how you need to calculate. So in the similar way you have to calculate the reluctance. Now we have to determine the inductance. So before that, let us determine the flux. So flux is basically the MMF divided by the reluctance. So the total reluctance we have calculated is R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2, and Ni is basically the MMF. Ni is basically the MMF. Whereas where the reluctance 1 can be given by, so we know the formula for reluctance is basically L by mu into area. So we can determine from this formula the reluctance of 1 and 2. Here the air gap is G1 and G2 and area is A1 and A2. However, the mu naught will be constant because it is for the air gap. So this is the reluctance 1 and reluctance 2, which you have to substitute here. And then if you want to find the inductance, so inductance is basically N phi by I, that is flux linkage per unit of current. So here you have already determined what is the value of the flux. So substitute the value of the flux in the equation of the inductance. So if you substitute, you finally will get this equation after having some manipulation of the reluctances R1 and R2. So substitute, then you will find what is the value of the reluctance. So if you see this question, it was pure analytical question where you have to find the inductance with two air gap which are connected in parallel, and the core is having infinite permeability. So I hope you have understood the second problem. So in the second part of the question, I think something else was asked, that what is the flux and the flux density. So you have easily determined the flux phi 1, that is the mmf divided by reluctance. So mmf divided by reluctance of this part, and mmf divided by reluctance of this part. So mmf remains the constant because it is in parallel, so you keep it in constant and then divide it with reluctance to find the flux and the flux density. So you know that the flux density is basically flux per unit area. So if you can draw the circuit of any magnetic circuit to electrical circuit, you can easily like determine the values of the parameter that are asked after having a proper understanding, because here mu is infinite, so you can't take a reluctance of the here, because this reluctance will be very less, so you need not to take the reluctance of the core. So let us see the problem number 3. In problem number 3, you have a core which have an air gap here, and you need to find the inductance of the coil here. What is the inductance? L. And what is the magnetic stored energy for a flux density of 1 Tesla? So your flux density is given of the core is 1 Tesla. So C indicates the core, and the induced voltage for a 60 hertz time varying core flux. So here if you give an AC supply, of frequency 60 hertz, then the flux that is established in the core will be also alternating and will have a flux of which is varying at 60 hertz. And then the flux density is becoming 1 sine omega t, where omega you can easily write as 2 pi f, then 2 pi and frequency is equal to 60 hertz, so you will be getting 377 radian per second. So three parameters you have to determine: what is the inductance, what is the magnetic stored energy, and what is the induced voltage of the core. So let us see the solution here. So in this case, the inductance is again N phi by I, or the flux linkage by current, you know the formula, and also the core and the air gap are basically in series. So in this case, both will be adding up each other, and you will be having N square by the reluctance term. So the number of turns is 500, that is being given. So 500 square divided by the sum of the reluctances. So here in this problem, if you see, this problem is similar to the problem that we have discussed in our first tutorial. There was a question being asked here, question number 5. So we have taken the data from there, and it is just a repetitive of the inductance and magnetic stored energy. So we'll use the that data. Okay, so you can just take the data from there. So the number of turns is 500 square divided by sum of the reluctances, so that you give it 0.56 Henry. So 0.56 Henry is basically the inductance of the wire that is being carried a current I. Now you note that the core reluctance is much smaller than that of the gap, because the gap is very small, so reluctance will be very small. Thus a good approximation of the inductance is dominated by the gap reluctance. So L is then equal to N square by the reluctance of the gap. So we are not taking the core into account, then you will be getting the inductance to be 0.57 Henry. And the magnetic flux density is given 1 Tesla for a current of 0.80 ampere. So you know that energy is given by half Li square, because this is an inductor. So inductor, what is the energy? Half Li square. So substitute the value of the inductance and substitute the value of the current, you will get the energy in joule. It is equal to 0.18 joule. And the induced EMF was the third part to be asked. So induced EMF, you know, it is N d phi by dt from Faraday's law. So and phi can be substituted as B into A. So you will get N AC dBc by dt. Okay, so number of turns is given to you, area of the core is given to you, and then the value of dB by dt you can easily obtain from the differentiation. So differentiation of sine will give you the cos term, so that you have to do. So you will be getting the induced EMF to be 170 cos 377 t. So in this way we can calculate the induced EMF, energy and the inductance. So let us see the problem number 4. So problem number 4 is again the same thing. We will be take the same circuit which is having a air gap and a core with this data, that is again and again the same that we are discussing for few problems. But here the problem will be twisted a little bit. So area of the core is equal to air gap, and all these data are the same which we have taken from magnetic circuit tutorial 1, problem number 5. Here one difference is the core material has the DC magnetization curve which is shown in the figure. So if you remember the problem 5th of the magnetic circuit, there mu r was given, but here the mu r is not given, rather a curve is given to you, which is the curve that is the BH curve. So you have been given a B on the y-axis and H on the x-axis, a BH curve. Find the current required to produce a flux density of 1 Tesla. So you have to just find what is the current requirement to produce a flux of 1 Tesla. So if you see here, you have the flux of 1 Tesla. So if you draw in the graph, so if you follow the graph here, so somewhere here the magnetic flux intensity will have. So the area, so the slope of this curve will give you the value of mu r, that is the relative permeability. Okay, so let us see the solution for this problem. So here the value of Hc for a magnetic flux density of 1 Tesla, that is coming from the graph, is 11 ampere. That is what I said you. So here somewhere the magnetic flux density intensity will be there corresponding to 1 Tesla of magnetic flux density. So you will be getting around 11 ampere turns per meter. Okay, so what is the MMF then? MMF is given by Hc into Lc. So Hc is equal to 11, then 11 multiplied by the length of the core, that is 0.3, is given in the problem. So it is 30 centimeter. So thus you convert that into meter. So 11 into 0.3. So you'll get 3.3 ampere turns. Then first you consider the core and then you consider the air gap. So here Hc into Lc you have done, here Hg into the air gap. So in this case your Hg value will be Bg by mu naught. You do not require mu r because mu r will be equal to 1 in this case for air gap. So the flux density Bg you put as the value of 1 Tesla, and the gap length you put and mu naught you put, you will get 396 ampere turn. Then finally the current requirement will be the sum of the MMF in the core plus air gap divided by the number of turns, because the F equivalent, that is the MMF, will be number of turns into the current. Okay, from here we can divide the number of turns, so it is 0.80 ampere. So if you observe this problem, the only difference of this problem will with question number 5 of the first magnetic circuit problem is that instead of giving the value of mu r, you have been given a BH curve. From the BH curve you have to determine what is the relationship between B and H, and then you have to find in terms of the magnetic flux intensity for the BC value. So in this way we can calculate the value of the current. So this was the problem number 4. Now let us see the problem number 5. In the problem number 5, you have an air gap and there are n turns and there is a core. Okay, so obviously it is a series circuit. So area of the core is given to be 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 3, and the length of the core is given to be 0.6 meter, and the gap length is given of the air gap 2.3 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter, and number of turns is 83 turns. So these are the data given to you. Your core permeability is infinite, so there are no reluctance of the core, and you neglect the fringing effect and leakage flux. Okay, so these are the basic data is given to you. So you have to calculate the reluctance of the core and reluctance of the air gap. That is the first part of the question. So what is the reluctance of the core and what is the reluctance of the air gap? So easily you can say what is the reluctance of the core, because you know that mu is infinite. Do not focus on this area and other things. Now, for a current of 1.5 ampere, now this wire, if it is carrying a current of 1.5 ampere, what is the flux linkage, and coil inductance? So three things you have to calculate for a current of 1.5 ampere. Now, if you want to, second part of the question is, if inductance has to be kept at 12 millihenry, then what is the number of turns required? So what is the number of turns required if the inductance is 12 millihenry? And third part of the question, what is the inductor current that will result in a flux density of 1 Tesla? So if you want to maintain a flux density of 1 Tesla in the core, what is the inductor current you require? So this question is separate from this part of the question. Please do not take 1.5 ampere for here, otherwise it will be a mistake. So this was the question being asked. For problem number 5th, we will see the solution to it. So since the permeability is infinite for the core material, you need not to calculate for the core, then obviously your reluctance will be 0. This is the reluctance of the core material. Directly you can say that since permeability is infinite, the reluctance of the core will be 0. However, you can calculate the reluctance of the air gap as the gap length divided by mu naught into area of the core, that you put it the area of the core or the air gap. Then you will get these values after proper substitution of the data. 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 is basically the mu naught value and area of the air gap as well as the gap length you put, and then you find out. Now you find what is the flux. So flux is basically the mmf Ni divided by the total reluctance S. So now RC plus RG will be sum because it is in series. However, RC is 0. So you should put this value to be 0. Then Ni divided by the reluctance. Ni number of turns is given to you and current is being given to you. So you can calculate what is the flux from the given data. So flux linkage lambda is equal to N phi. So lambda is equal to N phi. You can calculate because flux you have obtained, current number of turns is given to you. So you can calculate what is the value of the flux linkage. So what is the inductance? Inductance is equal to lambda by I. Lambda is the flux linkage. So divided with the current, you will get what is the value of the inductance. So inductance you will get 6.773 millihenry. Now you know the formula. Inductance is equal to N square by Rg. N square by Rg that we have derived in the problem number first or second problem of this tutorial. N square by Rg. So inductance, here you have been given, try to determine what is the value of N. So N will be under root of L, that is the inductance, into reluctance of the air gap. So put the values there because you have to maintain the inductance of 12 millihenry. So you will get the inductance to be 110 turns. Now, since the core flux density and the air gap has to be maintained at 1 Tesla, so phi is equal to Bg into AC. So air gap flux density into area of the core. So you will get a flux of 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 3 Weber. And finally, you can calculate what is the excitation current. So excitation current you will get flux linkage lambda divided by the inductance, that is N phi by L. You will get. So putting the values whatever you have derived from the previous part of the question, you will get an inductor current of 16.5 ampere. So if you know the basic formulas of the magnetic circuit, you can easily calculate the items that are being asked in the problem. So let us check problem number 6. Problem number 6, if you see this magnetic flux, magnetic material is given, circuit is given, you have to find the flux density and flux in the outer limb and the central limb. Okay, so what are the flux and flux density in the outer limb and the central limb? Under the condition that the core or the iron permeability is infinite for case A, and for case B you have a value of 4500. So two values are given to you under the two different cases. You have to calculate the flux density and flux in the outer limb and the central limb. Now if you observe the question, 0.5 ampere is given to you, which is exciting the coil of 1000 turns which are there. Two air gap is there, one with 1 mm length this side and one 2 mm length this side. Core thickness is 5 centimeter, and you have been given the other dimension 5 centimeter 5 centimeter in the extreme end, and this one is 30 centimeter with the central as 10 centimeter. So you have been given the geometry details. Now you have to use the geometry to find out the problem. Now your mu r is infinite for the core material, that is your case 1. The core is having a permeability which is infinite. Then in that case, first you find out what is the mmf. What is the mmf in 1? Then you will be getting, because you have a 1000 turns of N which is carrying a current of 0.5, so it means 1000 into 0.5 will give you 500 ampere turns as the mmf. So find out the reluctance of the two gaps. So gap number 1 and gap number 2, what is the reluctance? So you know the formula of reluctance. So reluctance is equal to L by mu naught into area of the air gap that you will be using. So here 1 mm gap is there and here 2 mm gap is there. So you have to use that data to find out what is the reluctance, because mu naught is there and area of the gap you have to find out, and then you have to calculate the reluctance of Rg1 and Rg2. This reluctance you have to calculate. Then after you have obtained this reluctance, you calculate what is the flux phi 1. Okay, phi 1 is the flux that is flowing in the core. This one is phi 1. What is the flux flowing in the core? Phi 1. So the mmf flux is basically the mmf divided by the reluctance. So here the reluctance is for 2 mm you have to take, because you need not to consider the core material, because core material is infinite. So this part of the reluctance you have to take, because phi we are calculating phi 1 this side. So phi 1 will have the total mmf by the total reluctance of SG2. So you'll get 0.785 milliweber. Now you find the flux density B1. So flux density B1 you will get phi by area, that you have to do. Then you will find what is the flux density in B1. Similarly, phi 2 you have to calculate for the other part. You have to calculate. So where is the phi 2 is flowing? So phi 2 is flowing this side. So for this gap you have to find what is the value. Similarly, B2 you have to find. So again B2 will be equal to phi 2 by area A2 you have to find. Then you have to find the total flux. So total flux is equal to phi 1 plus phi 2. So here whatever the flux is originating, the flux is flowing in the two side. One is phi 1 and another is phi 2. So this is similarly to Kirchhoff's current law. You are adding up the flux. So the total flux is 2.356 milliweber. After calculating the phi 1 and phi 2 value, you are getting 2.356. So the net flux density B, whatever is there, it is equal to flux per unit of area of the core material. So that if you do, then you will find 0.471 Tesla as the flux density, total flux density. Now that was the first case. Now second case is, if the relative permeability of the core material is 4500, then you can't neglect the value of the core. Rather you have to take the core material into account. You can't neglect the core material, so you have to take that core material into account. Now let us see how we will do that. So here now the dimensions will come into picture. So find the length of the core material 1 and core material 2. That is, in this part of the core and this part of the core, what is the length? That is the average length. So we need to find the average or the mean length of the core material. You need to find from the dimension given to you. Then you find what is the reluctance of the core 1 and core 2. Since it is symmetrical in nature, you may get the same reluctance. However, please use the dimensions that are given. So you find the reluctance of the core 1, core 2 using the formula R is equal to L mu naught mu R by it by area. So you use that formula. So here mu R you have to substitute as 4500. In the previous case we have taken it as infinite. And then the length of the C3, that is the third part, is this part of the length that you have to take. Finally you have to find the reluctance of RC3. So since you have three parts, 1, 2 and 3, so numbering whatever I have given may interchange based on the solution. So this can be 1 or this can be 2, then you see it. So just find the reluctance for the three part by finding what is the mean length of the three path. So the total equivalent reluctance, if you see total equivalent reluctance, then you will be seeing that the core and the air gap will be coming in series here. Here the core and air gap will be coming in series, and which will be in parallel with this core material. So effectively you have to use the circuit concept to find the equivalent reluctance of the core as well as the air gap. So you find out what is the equivalent by just doing the manipulations. So equivalent reluctance, you are getting this value of the total equivalent reluctance of the core as well as the air gap. Now you can find what is the flux and the flux density, because the flux will be equal to the mmf, total mmf divided by the total reluctance. So total reluctance you have calculated, that will be using to find the value of the flux, and that will be used to find flux density. So flux density is equal to flux per unit area. Now that can be used to find what is the value of phi1, phi2, b1 and b2 for the remaining part of the core using the concept of the parallel law. So you know that in circuit problem, what is the voltage division and current division. So if you have two parallel circuit and this is your current I, so there are two division, I1 and I2. So if you know I2 is, if you take this one R2 and this one is R1, so I2 is basically the total current I divided by the parallel resistance, that is R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So similarly concept you have to use here to determine what is the value of phi1 and phi2, and that will give you b1 and b2. In this way you have to solve this problem one by one, and then you have to decide like how to from the magnetic like circuit given to you, how you can find the flux in each part of the circuit. And if you have been given the relative permeability to be infinite for the core material, then the question will become little bit easy and if the core material is given with some permeability, take into account and then solve the problem. So this was the problem number 6. So the last problem of tutorial 2 of the magnetic circuit we'll discuss. So here again a geometry is given of a magnetic circuit, and mu r in this case is given to be 1200, right? That is the relative permeability of the magnetic circuit of the core material is given to be 1200. You are neglecting the leakage and fringing. So all dimensions are in centimeter, it has been told, and magnetic material has a square cross sectional area that you can see. It is a square cross sectional area. Determine the air gap flux density and magnetic field intensity. Magnetic field intensity you have to determine in the air gap. So these are the dimensions. Now you have two exciting coils. One is N1 this side and N2 this side. If you remember the previous problem, in the central core your exciting coil was there, and at the two extreme leg you do not have the excitation coil. Here the excitation coil is located at the two extreme end, and there is an air gap of 0.5 centimeter at the central end. And Here the current carrying is 10 ampere, so you have to find out the air gap flux and the flux density given the dimensions. So all dimensions are given to you. These are the dimensions of the core material. So these are the dimensions. So please note down the dimensions, draw the figure, and then find out the accurate dimensions of the core. So with these dimensions you can see that there is a symmetrical in nature. So what is symmetry? You have, if you see B, C, D and E, this part of the core material, and B, A, F, E, this part is symmetrical because all the dimensions are equal and equal number of turns you have for the current excitation coil. So all things are equal, then we can easily solve that. Moreover, we can draw the electrical circuit. So this is the electrical circuit. Here at the two extreme end you will be having the resistance of the core, and here you have resistance of the air gap along with the core material at the center leg. So these and this 1 and 2 will combine to be the resistance of this core material, and you have an air gap here. So that is the air gap in this part, and this part of the circuit and this part of the circuit will form the core material this side. And you have two excitation coil at the two extreme end, which is having a 500 turns of carrying a 10 ampere. So obviously 5000 ampere turn will be there at the two extreme end. So the electrical circuit, you can easily draw it from the knowledge of the magnetic circuit. Now you find the each parameter. You have to find this one, and this one, and this one. Okay, so reluctance of the core material, air gap, you can find Lg by mu naught into Ag. Reluctance of the central leg you can find of this material. What is the length of the core divided by mu c into Ac. You have been given the core is of 1200 permeability. So use this formula of the reluctance L by mu into A formula to find the reluctance of each both core as well as air gap and draw the electrical circuit. So if you have obtained the reluctance of the core as well as the air gap from the different parts of the circuit, and you have been given the MMF, now your electrical circuit is ready. So you can apply the loop equations. So you apply the loop equations to find out the required terms that you have. So similarly, you know that Kirchhoff's voltage law, sum of the voltage across a closed loop is zero. So that we are going to apply here in magnetic domain. So what you do is that voltage drop you calculate at I into R is equal to 0. So here I will be substituted with flux and resistance will be substituted with reluctance, right? So just apply at the two loop 1 and 2. You have two loop, so this will be loop number 1 and this will be loop number 2. So you will get two different equations. So this is your equation number 1 and equation number 2. If you solve these two equations, there are two variables in phi 1 and phi 2. So if you see two equations are there and two variables are there, if you solve the problem, you will get that the flux phi 1 and phi 2 are equal, which is equal to 2.067 into 10 to the power minus 4 Weber. So using the this loop equations, you are easily able to solve the problem in terms of the KVL. So now after obtaining phi 1 and phi 2, just add up to find the air gap flux. So if you have obtained the air gap flux, you can easily obtain the density equal to flux per unit of area. You can obtain the density, and the intensity you can obtain Hg is equal to Bg by mu naught. From the very fundamental equations we are using here, after using the geometry, we have solved the values of phi 1 and phi 2, and then we are obtaining what are the flux density and magnetic intensity from the knowledge of the basic formulas. So in this way we have complete the tutorial second of the magnetic circuit. Tutorial 1 and tutorial 2 are interrelated with each other. Please solve both of them together, then you will have a clear understanding of the magnetic circuit. Thank you.